She started out as a social events planner and only helped out when the worship leader needed some help. She says that Jesus Culture's one goal is to encounter Jesus.
It's amazing what God can do when you keep first things first. And what God did with the humble hearts behind the Jesus Culture Worship Band created a wildfire.
Jesus Culture actually started out as just our summertime youth conference. Banning was the youth pastor, and Chris was the worship leader in the youth group. I was actually the social events director. I planned all of our parties and all of our outings, and Banning had asked me to help with the worship, so I was just kind of assisting Chris with the worship. And we called our summertime youth conference Jesus Culture, and when we decided one time to record an album, we had no money, no budget. We did not think it would become anything. All we wanted was just to get an album into the hands of all the teenagers who were coming, because we noticed that they'd come to the conference, they'd have this incredible encounter with the Lord in worship, but they'd go home and have no resources or tools to keep it going. So every summer when they'd come back, it kind of felt like having to start over again and kind of replow a little bit, And so we thought if we could record and capture what's happening in these worship moments and their encounter with Jesus, they could take that home and they could keep encountering Jesus. So this could be a tool for them to keep connecting with the Lord and to grow the relationship. So we recorded our first album, and it did exactly what we thought it would do and what we hoped it would do, which was we heard all these testimonies. People are taking the album home, they're encountering Jesus like they did at the conference, and it's just growing, so that the next time we all came together, it didn't feel like we were having to plow so hard. It felt like people were there and we were ready to go deeper, and each time go deeper and deeper and deeper. And it just kind of exploded from there. Honestly, there was this one conference, we'd gotten these prophetic words about taking what we do at our conference and taking it out and doing it in other cities. And after that prophetic word and after that one conference where something kind of, all I can describe it as something was birthed in the spirit. We're in this moment in worship, and all of a sudden people just start yelling, and it just sounded like this loud, kind of deafening roar, and it's really hard to explain, except just something happened. We all felt it. Something shifted. Something just felt like it was kind of birthed in that moment. And then after that is when we started going out, and it was the release of the albums and the taking the conference out that really began the movement of Jesus Culture. Our biggest focus was always an encounter with Jesus. We weren't thinking about or planning or strategizing how to birth a movement or how to create a record label or how to create lots of CDs. That's why all of our first albums, they're all cover songs. We don't have any originals on there because we weren't trying to write songs. We weren't trying to be a band. We weren't trying to create something. These were the songs that we were singing in our youth group. These were the songs that we were encountering Jesus on, the songs that meant something to us. And so it wasn't about capturing the songs, it was about capturing the moment and capturing what the Lord was doing in that. And that's what people are hungry for. People aren't looking, they want what's real, they don't want hype, and they don't want you to just try and push them along with some excited words or something. People want an encounter with Jesus. That's where our lives are changed. That's where the fruit comes from. And so I think that's really what has kind of been our journey and what has set us apart, and kind of it's just been our unique little DNA in our group, is that we're going after an encounter with Jesus, and we want people to have an encounter with Jesus. And every decision that we've made along the way is all based around that. It's not been about the growth or expansion. Really, the Lord is the one who has brought the growth and expansion, and we've been really, really, really slow. And when the opportunities came to expand sooner and to grow sooner, we said no to those because we didn't feel like it was time, and we wanted to allow the Lord to open the doors and to grow us and expand us in His timing and His way. And we didn't want our external world to become greater than our internal world. Like, that was a big deal for us. We needed to be sure that everything happening on the inside was big enough for what was happening on the outside, you know? We went through a season as a team where we were feeling the growing pains. You know, there's demands coming from the outside, and we're all holding them off like this. And on the inside, for us as individuals and for us as a team, there was a major growth spurt happening. There was, you know, the Lord calling us as individuals to come to a new level, but also the Lord calling us as a team, like, you're a family and you're in this together. We need each other, and to really strengthen our relationships as a family. And so we went through these different seasons where it was just all about the Lord growing us and developing us, our character, our integrity, our connection to each other, our trust in Him, our perseverance in our relationship with Him, you know, going after Jesus, even in the hardest times, the roughest times. All of these things is what builds up our internal world. And that's the only way that we have been able to sustain everything that's happened on the outside and the growth on the outside. Because when your platform grows, you have to have that internal world and structure and what's on the inside, that connection to Jesus, to be able to sustain that, because you can only go so far on your own. You know, we've got talent, we've got skill, but that only gets us so far before you're just burnt out and that foundation crumbles because it's not a true foundation.